Good morning, everybody, or whatever time of day you happen to be opening this. Welcome to Math 140, College Algebra and Trigonometry. This summer, we're going to be working through the content for what is typically known as pre-calculus in kind of an online format. Okay, so I just wanted to take you through a couple of things to get you set up and so that you know kind of how things are going to work. So the first thing you can see here on my screen is we are running everything through the My Classes webpage. Okay, so you can access this through the SU webpage. So if I jump to a random page and start from the SU webpage, you're going to access it through the Students tab here at the top in the gray. I typically go in through Faculty and Staff because that's my role. But you're going to click on Students. And then right here in this first category, you're going to click My Classes. You can see it's red because I use it all the time. So you're clicking on My Classes, and then you're going to have to choose an account, and it's going to sign you in. Okay, now this is taking me into Outlook. Not really sure why, but when you open it and you go in, it should bring you into the My Classes space. Over here, you can look at your courses. So if you take a look at the book over there on the left-hand navigation platform, you can go ahead and choose. And right there is your course, Summer 2025, 5-week for 1. So that's our 5-week session 1, and it's Math 140. So you're clicking that and it's going to bring you right into this main page. So this is your main page, and these are where your modules will be located. So all of the main information for the class is presented to you through modules, okay? Most of what we need to get started is right here in this introduction. Now, you're going to, when you open it, you will have seen the first module will be this video, right? I didn't have the video created when I created the video, so it's not there in my picture, but it was there for you. So you're clicking on that's how you got here to kind of see what's going on. The next thing that you want to do after doing this is to go into the important information, right? We always want to start with important information, and it is important for you to go through and read through some of this. I'm going to touch on a lot of this in the next few minutes, but everything that you need to know about how the course works is here. Okay, so you're going to read through, it's going to tell you how to work through a module, what the important dates are, and all of those important things. So you're going to want to continue to click through this. So you read through it and click next. One of the most important things in this course is that the course is asynchronous, meaning you pace yourself, except for exams. So we are going to have 4 exams and 1 final exam. And those will be synchronous, meaning that you and I will be on Zoom together, and I will proctor that exam via Zoom. Okay, we will be using Lockdown Browser so that you can't access other things on your computer. And I will get to see what you're doing. Okay, so in that way, it's a proctored environment. Notice that there are no times here. And that is because we didn't have a set time for the course because it's asynchronous, which means we're going to coordinate that. There are 9 of you in the course at this stage. So I'd like to kind of condense that into at least maybe no more than 3 different time slots for each exam. So we can have some variation. We don't all have to pick the same time slot. But in order to pick what's going to work best for everyone, I need you to go ahead and send me an email. So send me an email that lets me know. Notice that all 4 exams are on Mondays, starting June 16th through July 7th. So let me know what your schedule is like on a Monday, okay? So that I can kind of see what windows of time do we have that I can kind of get people into. And then your final exam is on Friday, July 11th, so I do need your availability for that. Keep in mind that the final exam is typically in a 2.5-hour time slot. It's usually twice the size of a regular exam, but you have 2.5 hours to take it. So make sure that you are aware of that when you send me what times you're available on Friday, July 11th. So shoot me an email at mastoner@salisbury.edu and let me know what times you're available for exams. Okay, so that's the main thing. You get to pace yourself within kind of a structure, which we have to be ready for exam 1 on Monday, June 16th, that we're all going to take together. Okay. Next, clicking through. Here's where you're going to find all of the course syllabus and the policies. So what's in here is ways to meet with me. So while everything is online that you need to take the course, you may want more than that, and that's totally fine. You're going to send me an email and set up times for us to meet via Zoom, and you can find the office hours Zoom link right there. Okay. You can find all of the traditional things that are in a syllabus, including what textbook we use, what the course description is, and all those kinds of things. We use a standard grading assessment scale, and you can see how the course grade will be broken down. 20% homework, 20% quiz, 40% exams, 20% final. please note that when you look in here at my classes, the way that I calculate your grade is not in the grade book. So when it says, here's your grade, this is your total score, that's not correct. After each exam, I will get all your grades together and I will post a column in the grade book called course grade. That's the one you want to monitor. Okay, that one tells you here's where I am. I typically post a homework average, a quiz average, an exam average, and a course average. That way you can kind of see what all the categories look like for you. Okay. So that's all the good things there. There's some more information about how we're going to use homework and quizzes and all the kinds of stuff. Also, big note here, and I need to change the date on the final exam there. Our final exam is July 11th. But the highlighted statement in yellow is very important because this is a precursor course that allows you to then register for Calc 1. In order for you to move past this course, you need to get a 60 on the final, okay? Usually for students who are doing well, that's not a problem, okay? But I can't have you failing the final and then still moving into Calc 1. That doesn't make sense, okay? So that's why that's there. All right, so that's what's going on in that document. And then there's some stuff you can read through that's university-wide policies, resources. I do believe that the Math Emporium for tutoring is also available. I can let you know when I find out details about that. And then I'm going to go back to the home screen. So let it catch up. So all of that is in that important information, okay? The next thing you've done, so far you have read through that, you know what's going on, you've sent me an email about your exams and your exam times, okay? The next thing you're going to do is go right here to class notes and you're going to open this PDF, so Math 140 class packet.pdf. I'm going to go check that out. And I will make sure that that is the correct document. But what you're going to do, this is going to be a big document, okay? It's going to be about 158 pages, and you're going to print that whole thing, okay? Now, you don't have to print it all at once if you don't want to. You can kind of print it in stages if that makes you feel better. But I would get through the first 8 modules, because that's what gets us to exam 1. Okay, but everything you need to take notes and be successful in this course is in this packet. So like I said, this is the wrong document as I'm seeing it at the moment. I thought I uploaded it, but maybe not. Because this says page 1 of 5, but you're going to see page 1 of like 158. Okay, print that out. Put three hole punch it, put it in a 3-ring binder. That is my absolute biggest suggestion here, because I want you to be writing things. Now, if you're an electronic person and you have an iPad or some sort of tablet that you write on, it's totally fine for you to open that PDF into something like GoodNotes or something like that, where you can write on it and take your notes electronically if you are an electronic kind of person. Okay, so those are really the 2 options that you want. What you don't want is to just kind of wing it and be like, oh, here's the notes and I'll write on paper that's not these papers. It's not designed to do that, okay? So the best thing for you is to open the PDF once it's the right one tomorrow, and print the whole thing, okay? I know it's a lot of pages, I get it, but it's what's going to get you through the course, okay? So you want to print that. So that's number 2. So far you've sent me an email with your availability for exams and you've printed the class packet. The next thing in your modules is our calendar of due dates. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. See if it'll open it for us. Maybe not. One of the things that I've noticed is that sometimes it's easier to download it. It actually goes quicker. There we go. So this is kind of your calendar. Note that we are starting on Wednesday, June 4th. So hopefully it's Wednesday, June 4th when you're looking at this, because your homework's not going to be available until then. Okay. Some of you have gotten in touch earlier than that, and that's fine, but everything is meant to roll out on Wednesday, June 4th. And you can kind of see that I have kind of paced things out for you. The goal here is to complete 1 module per day, with the exception of the second day of class. I have modules 2 and 3. And honestly, as long as you're doubling up somewhere in those first 7 days, your goal is to get to module 9 by the 13th. After that, it's all 1 module per day. You're going to complete 1 module per day. Okay, you can see that there is a homework assignment that goes with each module, except for module 24, side note. But you can see that on Wednesday, June 11th, you have homework 1, 2, and 3. That's the due date for homework 1, 2, and 3, and that's via website, and you can go ahead and see that when you open that. I'll show you that in a minute. You can also see that our first exam, as well as quiz 1 and 2, are due on the 16th. So your exam days are kind of those stop dates. So by June 16th, that's our check-in date. You should have completed the first 9 modules, the first 2 quizzes, and your homework's all through module 8. Okay, that way, and then we take exam 1, and that kind of wraps up everything that comes before module 8 and before. Then you're going to continue on. Okay, and you can kind of see then at exam 2, we've got homework for 11, 12, quizzes 3 and 4, and our exam 2. So kind of Monday is kind of your checkpoint. That way it gives you the weekend to catch up on anything. I know some of you said that you're working during the day, and so that gives you the weekend to kind of catch up on anything that you might not have gotten done during the week. Okay, but in general, you're aiming for 1 module a day, and making sure that you've gotten all of your quizzes and homeworks done by the exam. Okay, and you can see that the same thing is true for July, and we've got everything wrapping up on the Thursday, July 10th, so that we can take just that final exam on the 11th. And that way, when you're done taking it, then I can grade it and submit everything. So that's our calendar. Now, is this adjustable? 100% yes. This is an asynchronous class, right? So let's say that I'm going on vacation on Wednesday, June 4th, and I won't be back until Sunday the 8th. So I'm probably not going to do modules 1, 2, 3, and 4 on vacation. And that's totally fine. But I just have to make sure that I get myself caught up and ready to go by Monday, June 16th. Okay. If you have something with exam times where that's problematic and, oh, I'm on vacation at this time or this day, and you need to move the big things, then you need to talk to me because I can kind of adjust that. But within those, besides those exam timestamps, in between those, you can kind of schedule yourself however you'd like to. The other thing that's a little bit negotiable is the homework deadlines. Okay, homework deadlines, again, I just set them to try to keep you on pace to do things so that you're not doing all of it the night before the exam. Okay, we don't learn best that way. So the goal is to say, okay, let's do modules 1 through 4 in these first 3 days, Wednesday to Friday, and give you a couple of days to get that homework done so that your homework is due Wednesday night. Okay, those are negotiable. You can request through WebAssign an extension on those homeworks, and I typically grant them. I'd rather have you take the extra day to complete things, or an extra 2 days, rather than to skip through it and not really learn anything. Okay, so again, we're a little bit flexible. The things we're not flexible with are those exams. Okay, all right, going back to our screen. So that is your calendar. So headed back home. All right, that takes us all down here. Now, you'll notice, and I'm going to skip the Access WebAssign here for just a second. There's also a module 0 in there, and that's just a little bit of review. If algebra is not your strong suit, you might want to go and pop into module 1 and just check in to make sure that you're okay there. Okay, you notice that there's only 2 pieces there. It's not part of our curriculum, but it's just a little bit to say, hey, do you remember how to do these things? So if you need it, pop in there and take a look. It's just the PDF and then the lecture that goes with it. Okay, but let's take a look at module 1. So what you have in a module, you will always have the same things. Number 1, you've got what says, you've got the paperclip icon there and module1.pdf. So if you choose to print as you go, you're going to go in there and you're going to hit module 1 and you're going to print that. Okay, you can see that it is 5 pages and this is module 1. You can see that there's lots of blank space left open. And this contains 3 things. This contains a lecture, okay, where I explain what's going on. It includes guided practice questions, where I take you through examples of what I'm going to ask you to do, okay? There's a video for both of those. Then you have the practice problems. These are problems meant for you to practice with. So now that you've seen me do them, you're going to try these, okay? So that's what you have there. So each module consists of those 3 things. So you've got your document in the first item there. The second one, it says lecture 1. And when you open this, there will be a video there that corresponds to the lecture 1 notes that you just printed. Okay. So we've got our notes. We're going to go in and we're going to watch the lecture video and we're going to watch the guided practice video. And then we've got a sense of what's going on. Then we're going to try those practice problems. You'll notice that practice problems do not have a video. Okay. They do have solutions, however. So if you click on the second one, you'll see that here are my solutions to how I accomplish those problems. Okay, you can kind of see my strategies. I tried to color code and all those kind of good things. So in general, every time you tackle a module, you are going to watch the lecture video and fill in your notes. Watch the guided practice video and fill in your notes. Attempt the practice problems, check your answers with me. Okay, once you've done that, then you're ready for the homework assignment and a quiz if there is one. Now, if there is no item below the practice problems, then there is no quiz for that module. Okay, there's only, I think, 8 quizzes. So that means that once I finish the practice problems, then I'm going to the homework, okay? To get the homework, I'm going here where it says Access WebAssign here. So WebAssign is your homework management system. So if you have, and let me see if I can turn on Student View and see what it's going to look like for you if we were to click on it. So we go ahead and we hit the button for Access WebAssign here. It's always going to ask you to load it in a new window. Okay, so this is associated with the textbook, and it's going to ask you to sign in. Okay, I will put mine in. If you have an account, if you've used Cengage before, oops, that's not right, you can go ahead and sign in. Now, I believe this should all be included with your inclusive access to the course, meaning you've paid for access to this when you registered for the course, as far as I know. If that's problematic for anybody, please let me know. If you have never used Cengage before, you're coming down here to that Create Account button, and you're going to go in and register. But it's going to try to log me in, and let's see. I got to look up the password in my password manager. Give me 1 second. Uh-oh, I didn't like that. Try again. Yeah, I really didn't like that. Oh, I know why. Uh-oh. Now, here's what's happening. I went in through a student view, right? So this is what you should be seeing, except I tried to log in as a professor into an instructor account. So that's not going to work, but it's going to then walk you through whatever. So if it's good to go, it's going to bring you right into the course. And if it's not, it's going to lead you through whatever process you need to get that started. Now, let's try this. Let me try to leave student view. And I'm going to try it again. And hey, look at that, it logged me in, okay? And this is what your WebAssign is going to look like, okay? So right now, it looks like there are 4 students in there, which means some people are already getting into things before I've even posted the video. Now, right now it says there are no assignments listed for this view. That's because the course doesn't open till tomorrow. So once we hit June 4th, tomorrow morning at midnight, 12:00 a.m., this will then populate with your assignments, right? If I click all, you can actually see them. Okay, so here are all your assignments over the course of the summer session. Okay, you can see that the main thing that I want you to do first is I do want you to come in and click on that first assignment, the practice assignment. Now I'm going to view it. You will just click on it and it'll take you right in. But all this is doing, it says express the number in a format, All I want you to do is plug in something. Go ahead and try it. You can see that I can see the answer because I'm the instructor. Just put anything in there so that I know that you attempted it. Okay, the goal is can you get in and try something? Is your WebAssign working? So I do want you to go in and click that and make sure that you're good to go. But after each module, you're going to come in here and you're going to open it, and there are problems in there for you to work on. Okay. Once you are in an assignment, I'm going to pick this one. You can see that there are 9 questions here. They're each worth 1 point, and we're going to go through. So you're going to express as a polynomial. So you're going to simplify that expression. Again, I can see that the answer there, it's marked it wrong because I didn't put in an answer. But you can do things like practice another over here on the right-hand side, right? You can also, I might need to do that, but it also might be that I'm the instructor. But there's a link to the ebook, so you can go in and look at what's going on in the textbook related to that question. Okay. There should also be a button that says Ask My Instructor, and I will make sure that that is available to you. And if you hit that button, what it does is it sends me an email and it shows me the question that you're working on and the answer that you've attempted. That way, that gives me a lot of information. That way I can kind of help you with problems that you're working on. So if you've got one where it's just not working for you, I can look at it and go, oh yeah, you're great. You're just missing this little piece. Or we should go back and look at how we're doing these from the start, right? So I can give you good feedback based on that kind of button. So that's kind of your best way to ask me questions about homework, is to use those buttons. And I'll be on email pretty frequently to try to make sure you guys are all good on that. If you need more than just asking me via that, just send an email my way and let's jump on Zoom and kind of sort out any questions you might have. Okay, but that's how your WebAssign works. You can see that the due dates are over here on the right, but they correspond exactly to what I said about the due dates that were in that calendar. Okay, and again, there should be a button somewhere, and again, I don't have it because I'm the instructor and not the student, to request an extension, and you can always request an extension, and like I said, for homework, I almost always grant those, okay, unless we're at the end of the course and we really need to be done by a certain time, okay. So that is, oops, sorry friends, that is just about it. So you're working through each module on that basis: lecture, guided practice video, try some practice problems and look at the solutions, and then you're attempting homework. Once you've made it through those first 7 modules, actually, because exam 1, while you're working on some of the other modules, we're only testing the first 7. On exam 1, you're going to come across something that looks like this. So a module that says exam prep. So in your exam prep, you're going to have 2 things, the practice exam 1 and its solutions. So in here is a practice exam, exactly as it sounds, of exactly the types of questions that you might see in the exam. Okay, so here are our list. Of course, there are far more on here than you're going to complete during the exam time. So this is just for practice, but these are the types of questions you can expect to be asked. Okay. You'll then in the next one see the solutions to that. And then they are. You can see I've typed them out for you. Okay. Now, when we come to exam time, so on June 16th, at whatever time we agree to, you will then see, and you can see the structure is there, but it's not available to you yet, that exam 1 will pop up right there, and you will follow the directions at that point. You'll log on to Zoom, you'll hit your lockdown browser, you'll go in and open the exam, and you have the 50 minutes to an hour, usually an hour, to complete that exam and upload your solutions. So it is writing on paper, taking pictures of your work and uploading them. Okay, so make sure that you've practiced being able to take pictures of your work and upload something, right? Get them onto your computer one way or another, so that you can upload them to the assignment. Okay. And that's kind of how our things are going to go. You'll notice that as of right now, only exam 1 prep is up. I'm kind of working on that as we go. But by the time we need it, probably by the time we hit exam 1, you should see probably the rest of the exam preps go up. You'll see the same thing for the final exam. So the final exam is just a longer exam, but you'll still have the practice final exam and its solutions. You'll notice we had all the way down, we have 26 modules to get you all the way through college algebra and trig. Okay, so stay on top of where you are. Try not to get too far behind. And if you need anything from me, send an email over and we can connect. The only other thing that's going to be important for you to monitor is over here on the left under announcements. You can see right now there's the I through it because there's none in there. But this is how I communicate if I have any kind of announcements that says, reminder, exam 1 is coming up, right? Those kinds of things will all show up here in the announcements. Okay, so if anything changes or you I want to remind you of something, it will all be there. Okay. Hope you guys are doing great. If you need anything again, please let me know. My email is mastoner@salisbury.edu. And best of luck, and let me know if you need anything.